Hi, welcome to Undead Yarn. This is episode 8 and my name is Heidi. And you can find me as Knittygirl on Ravelry and Plurk and Knittygirl1 on Twitter and Instagram. And out of the four, I probably use Instagram the most. Well, Instagram and Ravelry the most. And you can go ahead and also look on my look on Ravelry for my Undead Yarn group. What I'm going to go ahead and do is start with my FOs. I have 2 FOs this week. The first one is an iPod cozy that I knit out of my Killer Rabbit yarn. This is the yarn that was inspired by Sock Bunny of Kimberly of Sock Bunny Knit and Fit podcast. These are her favorite colors. And I used a size 2 on the bottom, and I just started it like I would start a sock with 64 stitches. And then for the cord, I made an I-cord using a size 5. So this is my first finished object, and here's my second one. And I don't think I showed either one of these last week, or last time. This one came out a little wonky, but I still need practice on counting rows of crochet. But this is a crochet dishcloth, and I really like the pattern. It's real pretty. It's a shell pattern, and the dishcloth is from For the Love of Crochet, the spring edition of 2013, and the person who did the pattern is Jennifer Burt, and I used a size G hook to do this. I also did some spinning, and basically I just spun up some more of the merino that I dyed in a pink, this time a pink gradient, and I tried to do the Navajo plying, which is it's chain plying. It's like when you crochet, how you pull the yarn through a loop. You're basically pulling your fiber through a loop that you've made with the fiber. And while I kind of started to get in the rhythm of it, the yarn didn't come out very good. It was really overplied, and so I ended up throwing it away. But I do have a lot of yarn that I can practice on before I get to my good fiber. I don't want to start my good fiber until I have a better idea of how to Navajo ply. So that's where I am with spinning. The last week, not this Saturday, but the Saturday before was my birthday. And on Friday night, we went to the Alamo Draft House, which I've talked about before, for an 80s night. And they played 80s videos, and everybody was allowed to get up and dance, and all the servers and the MC who was in charge were all dressed in their 80s clothes, and actually a lot of people in the audience were dressed in their 80s clothes. And we were throwing balloons, and they had like blow up guitars and microphones, and we had a really good time. It was a lot of fun. And then the next day was my birthday, and we went for lunch out to get some pho, which is Vietnamese soup. They have a lot of places that serve that in Austin. It's really good. So that was my birthday. And the next day, on Sunday, I did some more of the yarn crawl. It's actually a 10-day yarn crawl, so I'm just going to go and talk about a couple of shops each week. That Sunday, I went to 2 of the yarn shops in Austin. One of them was Gauge. And when I was there, I met some indie dyers that were selling their yarn, and they were talking, they were there to talk to people about them. The first one is Theodora's Pearls by Dizzy Lettuce, and this one is 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon, and I bought the Tuscan Sun colorway. She had a lot of really beautiful Halloween colorways, but I wanted to try this one because these are the colors that I normally am drawn to. I like gold. My favorite are gold and black, and orange, or golden brown and orange. And this also has a little touch of green in it too. So this one, I met Dizzy Lettuce, and she actually said that she is going to be doing a dyeing workshop up in Colorado, I believe next summer. So I'm kind of interested in finding out more about that. So I got to meet her, and then I also got to meet the lady who does Little Green Finch, and I've looked at her yarns before at Gauge because that's the only place I know of that carries it. And they're usually really vibrant colors. Like I like my vibrant colors, my bright pinks and greens. And I picked out this one from her. This is her one of a kind. This one, so this is not a repeatable colorway. This is her preen sock, and it's 70 superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% stellina. That's really pretty. It's golds and greens. It's mostly green variegated yarn that has some sparkle in it. And the other indie dyer I picked up, I didn't meet her because she's not actually from the area, but I got some hazel knits. This was the one that they had on sale. Each shop gave out 2 patterns, and usually whatever yarn was used for the patterns was offered a discount for the yarn crawl. And I got some hazel knits because this was the one that was featured in one of the patterns. The color I picked up was Iris, and this is purple. This is her artisan sock. And this one is 90% superwash merino and 10% nylon. There was another colorway I thought about getting. It's called Quill, and it's actually one of her brand new colorways. It's gray with a little bit of red in it. It was really pretty, but I was more drawn to the purple, so I got Iris instead. And the other yarn shop I hit was Hill Country Weavers, which is probably the most well-known yarn shop in Austin. It's not huge. It's in a house, but it's packed full of fiber and yarn, and they have all kinds of classes on spinning and dyeing and weaving. It actually started out as a weaving shop. So the owner is very familiar with lots of different techniques, and she has lots of different people that write patterns, and they've put out some pattern books specifically from Hill Country Weavers. One of the people who works there not only does designing, but she also does the photography. So they have a lot of, they're pretty well known in the area. And when I was there, I picked up the Spun Monkey Dye Works, some Wensleydale fiber, because I haven't tried this before. It feels a little coarser than some other fibers that I've spun. This is in the crab colorway. It says it's from the Van Gogh series by Spun Monkey Dye Works. And it's basically coppery browns, different shades of brown. And this one is Wensleydale. So that's what I did on Sunday. The next thing I wanted to talk about was I wanted to talk a little bit about all the controversy that's been going on with our video podcasting and Blip and iTunes and all those things. For right now, I'm going to remain on YouTube. I am looking into possibly getting on iTunes, but I did want to say that since I've started being on YouTube, I've noticed there are a lot of podcasts that are just on YouTube. Not on, I know you probably know I'm not the only one, but there are several that are only on YouTube, and I found some that are really, really good. The best known one that I've been watching is probably Meltran Designs. A lot of you have probably heard of her through the Fiber Nymph Dye Works podcast, because she's done a lot of designs with Fiber Nymph yarns, and they've done a lot of co-selling, such as she would dye up a certain yarn, and Mel of Meltran Designs would design something based on the yarn that she dyed. So she is a designer, and she has children, and she's a knitter, and she's been doing it for a while. She's one of the podcasts that I watch that's only on YouTube. Another one that I really enjoy is Bunny Fish, and she is also just on YouTube. And she has some children, and she knits and she crochets, and she also seems to enjoy doing a lot of the VKNs, the virtual knit nights. And I think that she's been able to connect with other podcasters through that. Lately, her last project that she worked on was a scarf. It's called a plurk scarf, and it's really, it was based on something, I guess Josh, sort of a knitter, who has another podcast, had a pattern he had suggested where you post on social media, such as Plurk or Twitter, a couple of different stitch patterns, and then the majority of people who respond, you tell you what type of stitch pattern you're going to use on your next part of the scarf. So she had just finished one of those, and it was really pretty. It was a kind of a neat idea. And the last one is that I really like is Biddy Punk. She is living in Guam right now. Her husband, I believe, is in the Navy, and she does everything. She said she started knitting at 4 years old. Who knits at 4 years old? She's been knitting since she was 4 years old. She designs her own items that she makes. She's done little tiny doilies. She's done lace work that's by needling. She dyes fiber. She processes fiber. She's done a little bit of everything. And she is cute as a button. She reminds me of Isolde Teague. If you haven't checked her podcast out, I would highly recommend her podcast. She's very knowledgeable. Even though she's very young, she knows a lot about knitting and spinning and dyeing and designing. So those are some of the podcasters that I know of that are only on YouTube, and they're wonderful. And the other good thing I found out about using YouTube is that all you have to do is, after you sign in, you subscribe to a channel, and every time you sign on to YouTube, it will show you on your sidebar whether the subscriptions that you have updated. So you don't have to worry about missing an episode, and also you don't have to worry about it taking up space on your device or on your computer because it's stored on YouTube. You don't have to download it like you do when I use Downcast for a lot of my my episodes that I watch or listen to. And that takes up space on my iPhone. A lot of times I'll get a notice saying your iPhone is, or not your iPhone is full, but your iCloud is getting full, and usually it's due to podcasts or pictures. So I'm finding that it's easier for me right now to watch my podcasts on YouTube or the video casts on YouTube, rather than watching them on iTunes, because then it doesn't take up space. Cloud is almost full. But using YouTube, you don't have to worry about that because it will store it on YouTube, and you can still look up whether or not any of the video podcasts that you watch have been updated. It'll show you in the sidebar. It'll show you as a number if anything has been updated on that channel. So I would like to recommend trying out YouTube if you haven't, or if you're having trouble with memory on your device or on your computer. The next thing I wanted to talk about is I'm going to start a monthly giveaway. And I like how a lot of people have FO threads in their Ravelry groups. So what I wanted to do is start a finished object thread, and it can be any finished object that you've done. You just have to be a member of my group to post. And I'm going to give a prize away to one winner each month. And since I'm starting this one almost at the end of the month, I'll probably run this one through, when I open the thread, through the end of November. And this is going to be the prize for that FO thread. This is called Glam Knits, and it's by Stephanie Japel. And I thought I would go over a few of the designs that are in it this time, and then next time I'll probably go over a few more. So each week I'll go over a few more until I've gone through the ones that I think that are interesting. There are a lot of different patterns in here that are very, very nice. I wouldn't make all of them, but there's enough, I think, for all different kind of designs. It talks about at the beginning working with luxury yarns and what types of yarns are available. It also talks a little bit about fitting, about how to adjust your patterns. The first pattern I wanted to show is this one I have not made yet, but I do definitely want to make this one. This is called the boho blouse, and it looks like it's made with a chunky yarn. So that would be a quick knit. And this is really cute. I like all the eyelet detail, and I like how it doesn't come down too low. A lot of sweaters and t-shirts and things now come down very far. They make them really extra long, so they cover your stomach and your bottom, and I don't always find that flattering. I like that this one is short and it stops around a little bit below your waist. So that's called the boho blouse. And here's another one that I like. This is called the bell sleeve scoop neck top, and it's another one that stops short. It doesn't go all the way down past your belly and your bottom. It stops a little bit below your waist, and it has a bell sleeve on it, And the bottom has some eyelets. And this one is made, it looks like with Surrey silk, but I'm sure you could make it with something else as well. Here's another detailed pattern of the sleeve, picture of the sleeve that also has the eyelets in it. And I'll show you one more design that I like, that I would possibly make from this book. This is called the Romantic Bell-Sleeved Cardi. And this one also has a bell sleeve. I like how she has these little details on a lot of the pictures. This one has, it looks like a picot edge and a picot center in the middle, and also on the sleeve. I like the little details there. So those are three of the patterns that I would consider making out of this book. I actually do have my own copy. This is an extra copy. So I'm going to use this as the giveaway prize for the finished object thread. I also wanted to remind everybody that I do have a coupon code available good for my shop, my Etsy shop, undeadyarn.etsy.com, and it's good through the end of the month, which is coming up soon. And the code is, you type in Undead, all in capitals, and it will give you 15% off your item. And with that, I'd like to close with get busy knitting or get busy dyeing.